You have looked at one today. You may not have registered it as a decision. Your eyes simply passed over it the way they pass over a parked car or a crack in the pavement. A pigeon on a ledge, a pigeon on a step, a gray shape doing nothing in particular in a city that is full of gray shapes doing nothing in particular. You looked, and then you moved on. But here's what you did not know when you looked away. That pigeon was not looking at the same world you were. It was not even looking at the same sky. What it saw in that moment, what it is seeing right now, on whatever ledge it is standing on, is a version of reality so different from yours that the word see barely covers both experiences at once. Right now, in every city on Earth, pigeons are moving through a world you cannot enter. Not because it is far away, because you were not built for it. That bird on the ledge outside your window is detecting colors that do not exist in your visual system, colors your brain has no name for, no concept of, no way to even imagine. It is feeling the shape of the Earth's magnetic field as a physical sensation in its beak, the way you feel pressure in your ears on a descending plane, constant, specific, impossible to ignore. And it is navigating by a star map it reads not with its eyes but with its body. Subscribe before we go further, because what the pigeon sees will not just change how you look at pigeons. It will change how you understand the limits of your own perception. Most people go their entire lives without knowing those limits exist. You are about to find them. Start with color, or what you assume color is. Your eyes contain 3 types of photoreceptor cone cells, each sensitive to a different range of light: red, green, blue. The combination of those 3 gives you the visual world you have always lived in. The pigeon has 4. That 4th cone type is sensitive to ultraviolet light wavelengths your eye cannot register at all. That exists for you only as an idea, a wavelength on a chart. For the pigeon, it is simply part of the visible world. Feathers that appear uniformly gray to you light up in ultraviolet, with patterns of iridescence that function as identity markers, health signals, and social information. The bird you see as one drab creature among many is, to another pigeon, wearing something closer to a face. You have been looking at them your whole life and missing the conversation happening in plain sight. Most people assume that what they see is what is there. The visible spectrum has always felt complete: warm light at sunrise, the particular blue of a clear afternoon, the dull concrete of a city wall. There is no felt absence. But absence of sensation is not evidence of absence of reality. Bees navigate by ultraviolet markers on flower petals, invisible guides that have been pointing the way for 60 million years before a human eye existed to notice them. The pigeon's 4th cone is a different version of the same principle, a channel of information older than our species, running continuously in the bodies of animals we treat as background noise. The world was always this full. We simply arrived late, with 3 cones and no idea what we were missing. Then there is the other thing. The thing that took neuroscientists at Frankfurt's Goethe University more than a decade to begin mapping. Pigeons have magnetite crystals, tiny biological compass needles embedded in the neurons of their upper beak. These crystals respond to the Earth's magnetic field in real time, giving the pigeon a continuous sense of orientation that has no human equivalent. Not a sense of direction the way you know which way is north after checking your phone. A feeling, a pull. The field is not data the pigeon reads, it is a sensation the pigeon lives inside. In experiments where researchers disrupted the magnetic field around homing pigeons with small coils attached to their heads, the birds did not simply get lost. They became hesitant, disoriented in a way that resembled not confusion, but something closer to grief, as if a voice that had always been there had gone quiet. There is a version of the world you have never accessed, not behind a door you could open, not in a place you could travel to. It is the same street, the same sky, the same gray ledge, but it is threaded with ultraviolet light you cannot see, with magnetic lines you cannot feel, with a density of information your nervous system was never built to receive. The pigeon does not know this. It does not experience its perception as extraordinary. It simply lives in the world as the world is complete, present, and fully real. You looked at one today and you moved on. It stayed. And in the seconds after your attention left, it was still there, reading the sky, feeling the field, seeing the colors of a world that has always existed just past the edge of what you are able to see. Tell me in the comments, have you ever watched a pigeon long enough that something about the way it moved made you stop and really look? I want to hear about it. I read everyone. The world is not smaller than it appears.